The brain box, the spot to get you hot, motivated, educated, money generated. The brain box, place to take you higher, get you inspired, keep you lifted, show you gifted. The brain box, place to take you higher, get you inspired, keep you lifted, show you gifted. The brain box, motivated, educated, money generated. The brain box. The brain box. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? It's me, Magi Love of Get Lifted Entertainment, here with another episode and topic on the brain box. As always, thank you to everyone who continues to support the platform. Thank you for the new subscribers. Thank you for those who are sharing the broadcast and episodes on social media platforms such as Facebook, Twitter, and wherever else they may be shared at this time. As always, if you're not doing so, please follow The Brain Box on Instagram at The Brain Box, BOXX. Also follow Get Lifted Entertainment on Instagram, and that is exactly how it sounds, Get Lifted Entertainment. And we'll just keep these episodes coming for you. I definitely appreciate those who have inboxed me and let me know that they appreciate the knowledge that I'm sharing on the different episodes. This is definitely more about making sure that I do my part as much as I can with giving back. So if there's any topic or any questions you may have, please feel free to send me a message on Instagram, send me a message on Facebook. You can hit the website, getliftedentertainment.com, and fill out the contact information there in the contact tab. And I'll do my very best with the knowledge I have to get your questions answered. So today's broadcast, we're going to talk about EPKs, electronic press kits, and why they are important and how you can help share those electronic press kits when it comes to introducing yourself, or when someone asks about, the type of media that you have, you can simply send over this EPK, and essentially what it boils down to be is your resume as an artist. So with today's competition, competition is like so fierce right now in the music industry. Getting people to pay attention to you is very important, and that's like promoters, venues, various media outlets. And an electronic press kit, EPK, is definitely one of those pieces of materials that everybody should have. It's basically like your online media and marketing portfolio. And like I said, it's basically boils down to where you incorporate certain items within your EPK to build it as your resume as an artist. And there are plenty of ways that you can build an EPK. I personally have put together EPKs for individuals using Google Slides. What it does is that allows me to not only download a PDF format, but it creates a link to where I can provide that link, or the artist can provide that link. And once the individual clicks on the link, they can press play, and it's like a slideshow of their EPK, which I think is pretty cool. You have websites out there like Sonic Bids. I do know Reverb Nation for a long time allowed artists to create EPKs. Adobe Spark, Wix even offers EPK templates, and I'm sure there's other website platforms out there such as Wix, WordPress that offer EPK templates where you can pretty much put an EPK together for yourself. And if you don't know how to put together an EPK, you can always contact me. That is a service I provide. You can hit me up at getliftedentertainment.com, and we'll work together making sure that we get the best presentation put together for you and the media that you have. So a couple things when it comes to your EPK. You definitely want to keep your EPK simple and to the point. This is including like your best material. You always want to keep your best materials relevant. And when I say materials, that's like your music, your videos, your pictures, because at the end of the day, when it comes to presenting yourself to individuals, if you have mediocre artwork, if you have mediocre pictures, if you have mediocre music, it's very hard to keep people interested in you and what you have going on. And on top of that, they begin to question the efforts that you're putting behind your particular craft. So a lot of people, are lacking great professional photos. And nowadays there's so many freelance individuals out here that there really isn't a reason why an individual shouldn't have professional looking photos. I mean, I've seen people take great photos with an iPhone. It's just a matter of you putting together an ideas in your head and coming up with different themes and areas to shoot great photos. You don't just want to continue to take selfies, because at the end of the day, that's not a professional photo. So you always want to keep the EPK up to date. Updating, organizing your press kit, it only takes a few minutes. So if you know that you're going to be constantly performing over the next year, you don't want to put a year's worth of images or video performance footage and things like that on your EPK. You want to keep it as relevant as possible, at least from the past 3 to 6 months. You also want to make sure that your EPK represents your brand. Don't overhype yourself and exaggerate and include irrelevant information, because that can be a true turnoff when it comes to people wanting to get to know who you are, what you stand for, and your capabilities of becoming a well-known household name. So when you design an EPK, you want to also make sure that you stand out from the competition. Try not to compare yourself or try not to mimic others' aesthetics and looks, because you want to represent the true you. When you represent the true you, you come up with some of the greatest ideas for yourself that it ends up standing out to just represent you, which ultimately causes you to stand out amongst the competition. So you want to make it eye-catching. You want to be unique. You don't want to go overboard with too much of a design. Clean is very eye-catching. When you are creative and you're clean with it, it's very eye-catching. So that's what people mean by going overboard. It's not necessarily don't come up with a great design or a great idea and execute it in a great way, because that's what you want to do. Going overboard to me is like having mad objects, cars, females, money, and all this on top of, on a cover, or having 50 million people in your pictures, and things like that. That's pretty much going overboard, because you're taking you're taking it off of yourself and you're putting it onto other things, or you're putting it onto other people. So you want the attention to pretty much represent you and stand out amongst you and your brand and what that represents. You also want to be cautious with including large files and things like that within your EPK, because what tends to happen is if it's too large, images are too large and things of that nature, song files are too large, your EPK, when you're sending it off to people, can be marked as spam or flagged as spam, and therefore it doesn't reach the individuals that you're trying to contact. So it's easier to include links to your music or links to your videos within an EPK, because those are more recognizable, like SoundCloud or YouTube, your title links, your Spotify links, and things of that nature. When you do it as that way, instead of including a whole file, it makes it easier for your EPK to be sent through the email servers when you're trying to email these out. You also want to make sure that you avoid putting like compressed or zip files when you're attaching your emails, because these files they can't be opened by everyone. They can't always be open on devices. Some people may use a Mac, other people may use a Windows PC, and depending on how you created that file won't be able to be open, and so therefore you run into another issue. And most times when someone can't access files or information within a piece of email sent to them or an EPK sent to them, it gets trashed, and then now you're overlooked for, you know, a simple file not being able to be open. And you're a great artist, you have great music and things of that nature, but because that file was not able to be accessed, it's almost like, you know, whoever you're sending your EPK to, media outlets, promoters, venues, best believe that you're not the only person sending in your information or contacting them. So their time is very limited when it comes to going through different pieces of contacts like emails and submissions and things of that nature. So keep that in mind. Some of the things that you definitely want to make sure you include in your EPK, always want to showcase your strongest assets to the music industry. And when I say that, your strongest assets, especially if you're a recording artist, is going to be your music. It's going to be your biography. It's going to be photos and artwork. It's going to be videos. So when you're including your music, please don't include like all 5 albums that you've done and things of that nature. Use your analytics and submit what the people have obviously shown you that they like, and that's what you want to include in your EPK. That's a strong asset. When you use your analytics and your data from Spotify, Tidal, and the different streaming platforms, or you have a website and you have your music on there to sell digitally and things of that nature, use that information to figure out and eliminate what you should include into your EPK, because again, you want to showcase your strongest assets. You definitely want to make sure you include your biography. Your biography is basically, it's the most fundamental part of the press kit, because this section showcases your music career. It gives brief details of previous or upcoming events or releases, your different achievements, milestones, a little bit of background on yourself and how you came into the music industry, what you've learned since being in the industry, and things of that nature. So you definitely want to make sure that you include your bio. I spoke about photos and artwork. Again, you want to include high quality photographs. You also want to make sure that when you include a variety of, when you include photographs, include a variety of photographs. Include some vertical, include some horizontal landscape type photographs, and make sure they have high resolution that fits into various layouts, because different media outlets, different promoters, different venues are looking for something different. So you definitely want to make sure that you include different looks. When you include high resolution photos, they can be large. So, you can use links from like Google Drive. You can use links from like Dropbox or any other cloud sharing service where it'll allow you to grab a link from a photo and include that within the EPK, just in case the photograph that you're using, since it is high resolution, they tend to be bigger file sizes. You definitely want to always include your logo or any type of branding material that you have, because if you're selected by a venue or a promoter, a media outlet, what they tend to do is also make sure that they put some recognition onto your logo for branding purposes. So you definitely want to make sure that you include that logo. And it's always great to have a vector style or a PNG transparent type. That way they don't have to worry about trying to change the coloring of the background and things like that that may be incorporated in your logo. If it's transparent or vector, then they can make it fit to whatever style, flyer, magazine write-up, or anything like that that will be helpful to showcasing your logo for branding purposes. So keep that in mind when you get something designed. You want to ask those graphic designers, to send you a scalable vector file or a scalable PNG transparent file. If it needs to be black and white, anything that's going to allow someone to be able to use your logo in such a way where it's transparent and it doesn't have like this white background that they're trying to stick on maybe a flyer that has a black background, and now you have this big large white square with your logo versus your logo just being transparently placed onto that background of a flyer or a magazine cover or what have you. The same thing with photos. You definitely want to include, sometimes put your logo on the bottom of photos and things like that, and so you need a certain type of file to do that. So keep that in mind when you're reaching out to graphic designers and getting logos and things like that made up. Always want to include your music videos. The music videos that capture like your artistic personality or demonstrate your live performance will be very, very helpful to you and helpful to individuals that you may reach out to with your EPK to understand you more as an artist and for people to get to know you better as an artist. Publishers are always looking to feature artists that have like very compelling videos that accompany their music, because publishers and bloggers and things like that, they like to feel like they're the first person to give you some exposure. So when you have great videos to go along with your music, that makes it even more better for individuals who are writers, bloggers, media outlets to pick it up and place it on their different platforms. You definitely want to include embedded links. And when I say embedded links, those are links like you can provide your links from your Instagram. You can provide your links from your website, from your Twitter if you use Twitter, from your Facebook and things of that nature. That way, it's very easy to access. Individuals can then click on those links within your EPK. And hey, just that 1 click or 2 clicks, 3 clicks, 4 clicks, you have 4 or 5 new followers because you thought about that extra step with including these embedded links in that EPK, and now they don't have to go and search for you on these different platforms. So you don't want to include a whole list of your social media handle at this or at that and facebook.com/whatever. You just want to kind of put Facebook, put the link to follow behind it. Put Twitter, put the link to follow behind it. Instagram, put the link to follow behind it. Same thing that goes for your Spotify, Tidal, streaming platforms, and your websites. And it just makes it a lot cleaner look, and like I said, easy access to individuals to find where you are on different platforms. If you have press and testimonials, you definitely want to include that. And a lot of people get a little bit confused about press. It doesn't necessarily mean a newspaper. Newspapers, they exist, but people very rarely read newspapers nowadays. But press is anything that you've had to write up on a website, you've had to write up on a magazine. Testimonials are very easy to come by, especially when you have videos on YouTube and people give you a great comment about your music or inspire them in some way, or even on an Instagram post, Facebook post, something of that nature on your website. Those are considered testimonials. You can take a nice screenshot, put it in some sort of app where you get a nice background behind it and things of that nature, and you can also include that on your EPK. You also want to make sure that you include any performance or tour dates. You want to include your contact details, how an individual can reach you or your management team or your booking manager, or however someone would need to contact you if they were interested in making you a part of what they have going on, whether it's a show, a radio interview, blog write-up, you know, you don't want to miss out on any type of opportunities whatsoever. So make sure that you include your contact information. Sonic bids, people slip on Sonic bids, and that's SONIC, B as in boy, D as in David, S. Sonic bids is a great place where you can host and disperse your EPK. Another place where you can put your EPK is on your website. You can even make your EPK downloadable on your website. You just really have to get creative and find out the different ways to make it downloadable. You can also provide a link to your press kit on your home page, and you know, that can be your about as well to make it easier for everybody. You can use file sharing services like Dropbox, Google Drive, again, any cloud service that's out there. Music platforms like Reverb offer, like I said before, they offer EPK templates. They also offer file hosting and data tracking and things like that for people who are visiting and clicking on your EPK. And I mean, you can create a link to incorporate it in your social media bio. You can always print out copies if you need to as well, to have those mailed out to different media platforms and individuals that may, or even just, you know, say you're having a performance and you never know who's going to be at these different events. So why not have a few of your EPKs printed up on some nice paper, you know, thick, nice paper, presentable. And that way, if there is a talent scout or A&R or, you know, what have you, you can always have that copy readily available. So again, the EPK electronic press kit is a very essential tool for yourself. And I feel like every recording artist, it doesn't matter what genre you're in, should definitely have this. I do feel like that, I do feel like an EPK is, it can be used outside of the music industry as well. If you're a model, if you're an author, anybody that's building a brand essentially can put an EPK together. It may not include music, it may not include music videos, but it can definitely include, you know, a bio about who you are. If you're an author, it can include books. You know, it can include your platforms, your social media platforms. It can include some images from your books and things of that nature. Same if you're a model. It can include, you know, pictures, a bio, different photos from events that you may have been a part of or shows that you may have been a part of, your contact information, your social media information. So this electronic press kit can go a long way for anybody, like I said, who's building their brand and wants to find different ways to get themselves out there with a piece of marketing material. Electronic press kit is definitely it. So I hope that this was helpful to somebody. If you know somebody that this may be helpful for, please share this link with them and this broadcast with them. Share the love, spread the knowledge, and we can all grow. As always, I thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Brain Box. Me, Magi Love of Get Lifted Entertainment. And until next time, we will talk to you later.